بسم الله إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. We've been asked today to talk about Mauritania. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Kathiran. A lot of the people have been asking us, what's up with Mauritania? How is it to live in a place like Mauritania? So we want to explain to the people, living and studying in Mauritania is quite different than what it might be like living and studying in other countries. As far as Mauritania is concerned, the first thing you have to recognize is that you'll be studying in people's homes. So we saw fit to have these types of lectures in my home. You'll be studying while the children are playing, while you're studying with the sheikh, because you're on his personal time. And that's what life is similar to in Mauritania. But if I have to start, I would like to say first that living in Mauritania is like going and camping out in a place that you've only seen on TV. For example, you've gone to places on the TV, I should say, and seen the Sahara Desert. That's Mauritania, for real, the real Sahara Desert. Sah wala la? So in the Sahara, there is no time or room for veneer. What do we mean by veneer? Veneer is like this. Do they have this in the camera? Okay. Make a pitch. Get this in the picture slightly. Veneer is when you have this type of wood. Under it is cheap wood. You know, cheap wood. But on the top, ½ inch, they put another type of wood that makes it seem as though this whole thing is red wood or some real nice wood. That's the example of someone who outwardly looks like he's a talibul ilm, and inwardly he's just an American consumer. And talibul ilm al-an has become a consumer type thing, where people want to buy everything, but they don't really want to have it on the deep insides of themselves, this action of being a talibul ilm. Mauritania will eat you up and spit you out. Mauritania is a type of place that if you go to it, you have to be ready to live in the open desert, in a tent, get up early in the morning without any water to make wudu, or any water to make istinja, and make tayammum maybe weeks on end, and maybe you have to go where the camels go to get the water and drink from the same thing that the camels drink when they drink the water. I'm not trying to be funny, but that's the reality of Mauritania. We studied usul al-fiqh from a number of teachers. One of the teachers that we studied it from only taught the class when he was feeding his camels. Okay? Now we feed the camels peanut butter, blocks of peanut butter. And we break them up. So if you want to get his attention, you break up the peanut butter and feed the camels while he's studying he's teaching somebody else. And then when it's your turn, that student will break up the peanut butter and put it in a trough with water so the camels can all eat it. And he has over 100 camels. Okay, so you all get the lesson, but the camels are used to him. So they're going to eat and come and they want to get petted by him and they want to lean towards him and they start wiping their faces like this with all the water in their lips and it starts flowing over your paper and on your hair and on your face. Those people who like designer khimars and they like the nice, the thobes that the men be wearing, the fidda or the different names of the ones that they be having, you're not going to like Mauritania. Because Mauritania doesn't care how much your thobe costs. It care, you know, if it's properly worn and if it's sensible. Period. That's the only thing. And can you do the work? That's it. So a typical day in Mauritania is the sheikh will start off his lessons by teaching his children. He'll start off by teaching his family members. And if you get to the point where he respects you and allows you to sit in the lessons where he's teaching his children, you should be quiet and don't ask any questions and just pay attention, because you're a guest in someone's home or in someone's tent. So you sit there and you take it all in. And then when you get the opportunity for your class, you can then ask, well, I was sitting there and you said such and so to your son or to your nephew or to your cousin. What does that mean? And he'll go through it with you in that manner. Someone who wants to travel to Mauritania, I would suggest to them not to, unless they had already learned how to speak fluent Arabic. If you can speak fluent Arabic, Tarideen, tafadali. If you can speak fluent Arabic and you know what you want to study, then you can go to Mauritania. If you do not know what you want to study, if you are not fluent in the Arabic language, then I do not suggest for you to go to Mauritania. The people that go to Mauritania from the surrounding countries and from the faraway countries always send their best Arabic speakers so that they can become experts once they go there. If you're not an expert, if you're not an expert in the Arabic language, or not an expert, I should say, if you're not good in the Arabic language, then you shouldn't go there, because it's still going to take you 2 years or 3 years to master the Arabic language. But if you're good when you go there, it'll take you a year to master the Arabic language. Okay, it'll take you a year. And when we talk about master, we're not talking about just learning how to speak. We're talking about mastering the sciences, the 13 sciences. And that's if you're good going there to master them. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. I don't know what else I can talk to people about with regards to Mauritania. عندك سؤال؟ تفضل. ماذا تريدين تقولي؟ أيوة نعم كما قالت like my daughter said, she said, if you lose your horses, or if you lose your goats, or if you lose your camels, they're not going to return. It's not like you have a police force or you have a lost and found. If your animals get lost, they're lost. It's your responsibility. You have to go find your animal. And you're a criminal if you don't go. I remember one time I wanted to go to the city. I had prepared to go to the city, and I was on my way to go to the city, and one of my goats, my milk goat, got lost. She went with another herd of goats. Sometimes the goats want to go with somebody else's goat. I don't understand it, but that's what happens. And I said, well, forget her. She left with them. She'll come back when they come back, whenever that is. I mean, there must have been tree-hugging hippies out there standing in front of the car telling me you cannot go till your goat gets back. And I could not go until the goat came back. And that's just, it may sound silly. It may have nothing to do with what you may think is the talabul ilm, but one of the benefits that you learn from this is that every one of the prophets was a shepherd of goats and sheep. And they say this was to teach the prophets alayhim salatu wasalam how to be responsible over a herd of people who are not necessarily to be blamed when they go astray. You cannot blame the sheep when it goes astray. Likewise, if you deal with camels, camels are a little bit different. Camels are arrogant. Camels are rough. They'll spit on you. They'll walk away from you. You have to, grab them by their tail sometimes. You have to keep them from drinking your own soapy water, and they're going to get sick. They're going to think they know the direction, and they'll take their daughters or their sons, and they'll walk away for a long time and come back with rabies. And it's all your fault. So dealing with the camels, you learn how to deal with New Yorkers or Americans, because they're very arrogant. They think they know everything, and they only lead themselves and their children astray, and they still don't want to listen to you. And that مشكلة نوح. تريدون تذهب؟ تفضل. So the point I want to make here is that going to Mauritania, لا اذهب أنا بعيد. لا تلعب بهذه الأشياء. The point I want to make about Mauritania, اذهبي البس ملابسك الجلباب. Okay. Jibiha. Ajibiha. Ainaha. Atini.